Hello everyone, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you guys another reading vlog, and that is going to be for Tower of Dawn by Sarah J Maas. If you guys are interested in seeing all of my other Throne of Glass reading vlogs, definitely go check out that playlist on my channel. I love doing these reading vlogs for you guys, and I'm actually pretty proud of how these videos have come out. So definitely go check out those videos if you haven't yet. But Tower of Dawn, this is the 6th installment in Throne of Glass series. I have been loving especially the last couple of books, Queen of Shadows and Empire of Storms. I gave both of those 5 stars, so I'm very interested to see how I like this installment, mainly because it is following a completely different set of characters than Empire of Storms. So this installment follows Chaol and Nesryn, and they have essentially gone to the southern continent to try to get help for the characters that were covered in Empire of Storms. So I'm not very far in this at all. I'm only on page, let's see, 53, and that is chapter 5. So we were definitely very much in exposition mode because we are exploring a completely different part of the world than we have ever explored in any of the other books, so that's very interesting. I've heard really good things about this installment, so I definitely do have high hopes, even though this book unfortunately doesn't follow my personal favorite characters. And since this is a reading vlog, I thought I would kind of give you a little update about some other things that have been going on in my life. So if you watched my Contemporary-a-thon reading vlog, you will know that I was in the middle of a production of Carmen by Bizet, which is one of the most popular operas ever, and I was in the chorus for that. It was a ton of fun, but we actually just finished our closing performance yesterday. So I'm actually going to insert a couple of pictures of me and a couple of my different costumes for that. It was so much fun. I got to wear this really beautiful and long wig, and the costumes were really awesome, and I just can't wait to do so many more productions of this incredible opera in the future. So I kind of thought I would talk about this here. Reading vlogs are usually when I talk about other things going on in my life, but yeah, I really do not have much to say about Tower of Dawn. I'm really just looking forward to really getting into the exposition and finally seeing some action, because so far in the first 50 pages, not a lot has happened, but that is to be expected with a story like this. So yeah, I'm just gonna update you guys at some point tomorrow. Hey guys, it is Tuesday afternoon. I wanted to give you guys a reading update about Tower of Dawn. So I am on page 173, and that is chapter 14. What I am noticing about this book is that it is taking me a lot longer to read than it usually does for me to get through a Sarah J Maas book. I kind of expected to be on about like page 230 at this point, but I'm only on page like 173, like I said, and that's just because, I don't know, I feel like this book is kind of moving slower than her books usually do. It's not boring necessarily, and I am overall enjoying the story and the plot. To be honest, Chaol has never been my favorite character ever, but I like the way that Sarah J Maas is now writing his character in this installment. But yeah, it's just taking me longer to read than I would like, so I'm kind of hoping to at least get to page like 250 or so by the end of tonight, but we will just have to see. I am about to go get ready to go see Wicked. Touring Company is actually in New Orleans for the next couple of weeks or so. So a few of my family members and I are going to see it, and it will be my 6th time seeing this musical. The first time I saw it was way back in 2006 when the Touring Company was in Atlanta. I was there celebrating my friend's birthday, and then I've seen it twice in New York. I've seen it twice more on tour when it was in New Orleans back in like 2010, and then tonight will be my 6th time, which is always exciting. It's probably my favorite musical ever, if not one of my favorites, and I'm planning on wearing green eyeshadow for the occasion, so I might film some short clips of me after I finish getting ready just to show you like my makeup and all of that, and then maybe showing you some like short clips of the theater, because the theater that we are going to is just gorgeous. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this reading update, and I'll talk to you guys later. guys, it's pretty late on Tuesday night, but I just wanted to come on here really to show you my green eyeshadow for Wicked. I just got back from the show and it was just as amazing as it always is. Like I said, I've seen this show now 6 times and it is probably my all-time favorite musical. If you guys have the opportunity to see it, maybe if the tour comes to your city or if you get to go to New York, I would definitely recommend it. And yeah, I haven't done any more reading because I had to go get ready for the show and then see the show, and I literally just got back. And I do have a pretty full day tomorrow of work, so I'm hoping to be able to get some reading done maybe when I get home from work and for the rest of the night tomorrow night, but we'll just have to see. I will definitely keep you guys updated. Hey guys, it is Thursday. I feel like this reading vlog is not going that well and it is not going according to plan. I didn't really get a chance to update you guys at all yesterday because I was actually on the road for most of the day. I went and taught some voice lessons at the university that I went to for undergrad, so that's about an hour and a half away from where I live, and I was teaching lessons for most of the day. So I didn't get a ton of physical reading done for Tower of Dawn. I've never been able to find the audiobooks for the Throne of Glass series, unfortunately, but I did listen to the entire second half of The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman because I was on the road for a total of like 3 hours yesterday and I listened to my audiobooks at 2 times speed. So I listened to the entire second half of this book and I ended up giving this 3.5 stars. I definitely enjoyed this, but I will definitely discuss this in depth in my mid-month wrap-up, so look out for that. So I did get a little bit of reading done for Tower of Dawn during my day yesterday, but the bulk of the reading that I got done was after I got home from my day. And then I've also read about 75 pages today. I am now on page 427 and that is chapter 37. I'm really trying to get this book finished by tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow night at the latest because I really need to get this vlog edited and uploaded for Saturday morning. I don't really talk about this with you guys, but I do try my best to upload every Wednesday and Saturday. That's kind of the upload schedule that works best for me. So I'm really trying to stick to that, so I hope I can get this book done by tomorrow. I think with the pace that I'm working up to at this point, I think it's possible. But yesterday I was definitely kind of frustrated with this book because I mentioned this earlier in the vlog, this book is just taking me longer to read than any other Sarah J Maas book that I have ever read. It is not a fast-moving plot, but for one thing, I didn't use a single yellow tab until, let's see, page 320, and yellow tabs are what I use for exciting or action scenes, so that should probably tell you a lot because there's usually a fair amount of action in Sarah J Maas books. I am very happy to report though that after about like the 250 page mark, things definitely started picking up and getting more interesting, and we are getting some action scenes in here, as well as some really important information that does tie into the overall plot of the series. What's been really cool about this book overall is that we've been reintroduced to a character who's named Yrene. That's how I pronounce her name. I'll put her name right here. But she was a character that was mentioned in The Assassin's Blade. There was a short little novella all about her and Selena meeting, and now Yrene's storyline is coming into play because she lives in the southern continent and is a healer, and after the events of Queen of Shadows, Chaol is in need of healing. So their storylines have now come together, and it's been really interesting seeing this relationship kind of bloom between the two of them. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to develop a romantic relationship, but it's very much a slow burn because we are definitely past the halfway mark of the book, and they have feelings for each other, but they're not really acknowledging it, so we'll see as the book keeps going along. But yeah, I can already tell this is definitely not my favorite book of the series, and honestly, it's my least favorite book of the series so far. Yeah, so I'm just kind of conflicted about this book, but I don't really feel the need to update you guys later tonight. I'm just gonna keep kind of working my way through this book, and then I will give you guys my final wrap up and review of the book once I'm finished it. And like I said, hopefully I will be finished with it by the end of tomorrow night. Also, I thought it would be cool to kind of share with you guys a little bit of what else I'm reading other than Tower of Dawn. So I tend to read 2 books at a time. I read 1 physical book and I listen to 1 audiobook. So like I said, I finished The Devouring Grey last night, and I started Renegades by Marissa Meyer today on my way to and from work, and I'm already absolutely obsessed. with the story, with the characters, with just everything about it. I have a feeling this is going to be Marissa Meyer's best work yet, even though I absolutely adore the Lunar Chronicles and Heartless. This is just already just on a different level, and I'm about 3 hours into the audiobook and I'm on page 92, which is chapter 7. So yeah, absolutely loving that. I thought I would just kind of include that in this vlog because I am also reading this at the very same time as Tower of Dawn. But yeah, that's going to be it for this reading update, and I will talk to you guys later. Hey guys, it is Friday evening and I am so happy to announce that I have finished Tower of Dawn by Sarah J Maas. This was quite an endeavor for me, which I talked about earlier in my vlog. This book has probably taken the most effort for me to finish, and I will get into my reasons now. I thought I would start out with my negative views about this book and then get into the positive things that I absolutely loved about it. So overall, I think that the first like 300 pages, maybe the first 250 pages could have been edited better. I do think that there were some times in the first third of the book or so where it was overall just slow paced and not the most interesting things were happening. There's a lot of exposition, although that needed to happen. You know, we're getting used to new characters as well as their developing relationships with Chaol and Nesryn, who are the outsiders. But I think overall that first chunk of the book could have been edited down maybe like 75 pages or so. So this book is 660 pages. I think it could have been edited down to maybe like 600 pages, maybe a little bit less. Another negative aspect about this book, in my opinion, is I am not the biggest fan of Nesryn, who is Chaol's companion. You know, her and Chaol were kind of together during Queen of Shadows, but during this book, their relationship kind of falls apart for different reasons. It's kind of a mutual decision between them. It's not like anything necessarily heartbreaking happens between the two of them. And to be honest, I never liked their pairing in Queen of Shadows. I kind of tolerated it, but I definitely wasn't really here for it. And so Nesryn kind of ends up going on her own path and her own storyline. And to be quite honest, for most of this book, I really didn't care much about the parts of the book that were from her POV. I just really wasn't enjoying her as a character or her point of view really at all. But I will say towards the end of this book, I would say maybe like the last like 25% or so of this book, I was getting more and more interested in her and her storyline, and things were definitely getting more interesting on her side. I think that kind of wraps up my more like negative thoughts about this book, so I just kind of wanted to get into more of a general discussion. What is really cool about this book is that Tower of Dawn is essentially Chaol's Heir of Fire, if that makes sense. If you know the series, you know that Heir of Fire is where a lot of character development comes into play for Aelin. At the beginning of that book, she's in a very dark place, but by the end of it, she has really started to find herself and accept herself for who she is and what she's done and what she's going to do. And in this book, that is definitely the same case for Chaol. Chaol is in a very dark place at the beginning of this book because of how things ended in Queen of Shadows for him and for Dorian and for all of his other friends. He feels a lot of guilt and a lot of self-loathing that comes out a lot in this book. But throughout this book, he is healing from a physical injury, but he is very much also trying to heal from a lot of mental injury. I will be very honest, and I know that a lot of other people who love this series agree with me. Chaol has not been one of my favorite characters for a very long time. Now, I absolutely loved his character in the first book, Throne of Glass, but starting from towards the end of Crown of Midnight until now, pretty much, his character has not been my favorite. He has done some things, he has said some things that have really just kind of annoyed me, and also I feel like Sarah J Maas just hasn't done his character any favors until now. Like, I just don't feel like he had much of a personality these last few books, and I don't know, things like that. But in this book, Sarah J Maas really did do his character justice, and overall I'm just very happy about the journey that Chaol's character went through for this book. Also, I adore the relationship between him and Yrene. I mentioned this earlier in the vlog, but him and Yrene do end up developing a romantic relationship with one another, and it is just beautiful, and I'm just so happy for both of them. I think that Chaol has always deserved someone like this in his life, and you know, it was unfortunate that he couldn't find that with Aelin, but but he has now found that perfect person with Yrene, and it's just so great to see after reading, you know, so many books about these characters. It's always great to see when they end up with the person they're supposed to be with. This book is taking place at the exact same time as Empire of Storms, so it's cool to see what exactly is happening in Empire of Storms during certain events of Tower of Dawn. It's really cool to see where these two books line up. We learn a lot of really important information in this book, so I find it weird that a lot of people kind of skip over this book and just go straight to Kingdom of Ash, because there's a lot going on in this book that I feel like you kind of need to know before going into the last book. And the very end of this book, I'm talking like the last 2 pages of this book, have me so pumped for Kingdom of Ash. I cannot wait to read it next month. I know that book is probably going to take me like a year to finish because it is almost 1,000 pages, but I am just so excited for it all at the same time. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I don't think I am capable of giving any of these books less than 4 stars. So that is going to be it for this Tower of Dawn reading vlog, you guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you would consider subscribing. Don't forget to push that notification bell button below so that you will be notified every time I upload. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!